What breaks your heart? What breaks your heart? It's okay not to know. But it's the question we should all ask from time to time. What breaks your heart? And like me, just to be clear, like me, there are a lot of things that bother you. There are a lot of things that irritate you. There are things that offend you culturally. There are things that bother you nationally. There may be some things that irritate you locally. But is there one thing that surpasses all those other things? Is there one thing, one category, one issue that above all the things that just kind of bother you and irritate you and make you mad and make you want to throw something at the television? Is there one thing in particular that is above all those other things? Is there one thing that just kind of stays with you? You kind of wish you'd never read about it. You kind of wish you'd never heard about it. You wish you'd never seen it. You wish you'd not visited it because now you can't get it out of your head. And it just sits there. I'll tell you my initial foray into this tension that this question raises. I was in my 20s, and I never felt called to ministry. I volunteered. I mean, I had friends that felt called. They went forward and told my dad. But I never felt called. I was kind of waiting for this lightning bolts, or I woke up in the middle of the night, or the angel, or I would sometimes pray, God, if you're going to call me, don't do it audibly because I will wet my pants, okay? So just don't overcall me. Just, make it clear, So I'm driving around with my dad one day, and I said, Dad, do you have to be called into ministry, or can you just volunteer? That's what I asked him. We're in our green Grand Safari station wagon. I remember right where we were in Cobb County, I said, can you just volunteer for ministry? Because he said, yeah. I said, well, I'd like to volunteer. So that's how I got into this. And I tell you what drove me. I was working just as a volunteer with some high school students, and I began working with college students and then high school students again. And the thing that broke my heart was watching students, back then we call them young people, watching students, teenagers and, college students, watching them make decisions that I knew would potentially undermine their future. It just broke my heart. I'm like, no. Why are you doing that? Why are you going there? Why are you participating? You don't understand. You think it's an event. It's a pathway. This leads somewhere. I mean, come on. Life is hard enough. Don't make your life harder by creating your own regret. I mean, some regrets are unavoidable. They deal with, they have other people that do things to us or create environments we can't escape. But come on, don't make your life harder than it's already going to be. And that burden stayed with me. And that's what drove my communication then. It's what drives my communication now. It's why try to be practical. So, sidebar, here's the mini sermon for today. Don't make your life more complicated than it already is with bad decisions. That's it. That's all I want to say to you week after week after week. Follow Jesus. This is why we say following Jesus makes your life better, makes you better at life. So that's what really broke my heart in those days. That's why I stayed for years and years. I thought I would work with high school students my whole life. I really did. Because I'm like, if you can just get these college years right, it just puts you on a trajectory that's going to make your life better. Now, okay, so that's enough about me. So back to you. What breaks your heart? Years ago, we're in the kitchen and Sandra and I are talking about this. And she had a different way of asking this question. So I'll give you her version, and maybe it's more clarifying for you. She said, if it were up to you and you could choose like one thing, if it were up to you and you could choose one thing, there's the question. What would you like people to line up and thank you for at the end of your life? That's a great question. If you just pick one thing and all your productive years are over, you're sitting on the front porch somewhere and they're going to line up people who've been in and out of your life, and you could choose what they would come and thank you for. In other words, the one thing that you would want to make a difference in the world or with a group of people, what would you like for people to thank you for at the end of your life? And anytime you go to a funeral, you're reminded of this, but after funerals, we have a tendency, unless it's a really, really close relative, we have a tendency to kind of shake it off and get back to life and get back to what we're doing. And I understand this, but every time you attend a funeral, you're reminded of this, that in the end, the value of a life is always measured by how much of it was given away. And you know that, and I know that. And what breaks your heart is your opportunity to leverage that while you still have the opportunity to do so. And here's what's true of me and what's true of you. Every single day is another day that potentially that opportunity slips away. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure you check out the links on your screen for what to watch next, and check out the description below, where we are going to provide you with free resources designed to help you make better decisions and live with fewer regrets. And again, thanks for watching.